it goes right in the bottom, and then the sample is driven out by a pump and eventually gets flowing up into the chamber. And of course, the purpose of the experiment is to send the sample material up through, feed it up into the buffer, which is flowing from the bottom of the column up to the top. Or what on earth is the bottom to the top? To us, I'm not sure what way it is anymore.
I guess right now it's top to bottom.
We've sort of gotten used to this zero-G business. This is kind of fun. In any case, it takes any one piece of the fluid nearly 10 minutes to get all the way from the bottom to the top, so this isn't really a high-speed activity. As it's flowing up, we put an electric field on it across the fluid, and that separates the materials in the sample. And the point, of course, is to separate out the protein material that we're interested in. And different compositions, different proteins get separated by a different amount. So by the time it gets up here to the top, to the collection tubes, the various proteins are sort of spread out across the top. And by collecting in, I think, what's about 200 different tubes up here, you collect a different material in each tube. And we won't be getting around to collecting the first sample for another hour and a half, but when we do, we'll be opening this trap door here and putting a collector tray in, and it drives some needles down into some of these tubes in here and collects the material through the top.
Well, thank you kindly for that all that description. You make an excellent tour guide of science on the shuttle.
Isn't science wonderful? Actually, we're not going to be seeing much action here at all. We don't even get the first part of the sample going through for another, I guess, 30 minutes, so I can't even describe to you what the sample looks like yet. The first sample is going to be a NASA sample, not one of the McDonnell Douglas samples. And it's an all-American sample. It's got 3 color dyes in it, red, white, and blue.
That sounds wonderful, and we're just now losing the picture. We'll have you through Bermuda for about another 4.5 minutes.
Okay.
Well done, well done. DJ, you got anything else for us?
We've got some things to talk with you about the wirelesses if you want to for a few minutes. We'd just kind of like to get straight in our mind where you are.
TJ, talk to us about what? Say that again.
Okay, concerning the wirelesses, we'd like to know if you've tried any of the spares yet down there in the mid-deck locker.
Sir, we've been through all the spares.
And with the spares in use, you're still down 3, is that correct?
I see they're probably about 3.5. One is intermittent.
Okay, I guess we'd like to know whether when you talk, the LED has any flicker to it on the ones that were failed.
Some had no LED, some had it on solid, and some flickered.
Wonderful.
I can't find any consistency on them. Some listen okay, but don't talk. My recommendation is don't you guys worry about it. We'll work it on the ground.
Okay, fine. We'll think about it some more, and if we come up with any brainstorms, we'll give you a call. Otherwise, we'll assume you're working it.
That'll be fine, Terry. We're in good shape. Well, looks like we're doing pretty good on today's activities. Unfortunately for the spa stuff, I guess looks like we're not planning on picking up any of the rest of that stuff today. Is that right?
Well, we don't feel too bad about the spas here. Like we told you, the MUMS data we think is going to be real good, and everything got turned on, and we're looking forward to seeing how well they work when we get you back.
Okay, super.
Crip, we have a message direct from the flight director that he thinks you might want to check your RJDs.
That might be a nice thing to do. Even if I didn't have to turn them off, I wouldn't have to check them.
Okay, he copies that.
But I appreciate it anyhow.
And we'll give you a call at Dakar at about 3-0.
Okay, see you there, TJ.
This is Shuttle Control. Bermuda has loss of signal. Challenger out over the Atlantic Ocean will be acquired by the Dakar station in just under 3 minutes. During the pass at Mila, we saw mission specialists Sally Wright and John Fabian activating the Cephas, getting that set for a number of sample runs today. Dakar about 2 minutes away now. We'll stand by for acquisition there.
And we're coming at you through Dakar for about 8 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear, TJ.
You're loud and clear.
What'd you do? You change the lens or something? What's going on exciting down there in the Mocha today, TJ?
Well, we're thinking a little bit about what's going on here, and really seems kind of relaxed this morning. Nothing real exciting. We'd like to find something for you to fill in the extra time today. We're thinking about that. And for Sally, the Cephas all sounds good to us. We don't see any problem there, and we concur with your judgment there, Sally, that that's up in normal conditions now.
Okay, good.
And we got some weather in there at the Cape today. You'll probably get a good view of that your next stateside pass. In fact, you should pass directly overhead the launch site again. And we're thinking that's a good omen that we'll have good weather on Friday then.
Sounds good to me.
One minute left here at Dakar. Big John's going to give you a call at Indy at about 5-0.
Okay, sounds good, TJ. You guys don't have to look too hard to find something for us to do. We can manage to do that on our own.
We figured there's no way you're ever going to be bored up there.
You figured correctly. But if you got something to do, holler.
We're thinking.
And TJ, we might have a TV of opportunity pass sometime later today. I know we do have another Cephas, but we might have some just regular mid-deck work if you want to work it into.
Okay, I understand you want to do some mid-deck live, or is that VTR?
We'll live it to you.
Okay, we'll put that in the plans.
That is, if it ain't too big a ditty.
I'm sure it's not.
This is Shuttle Control. Challenger has moved out of range at Dakar now. Next acquisition through the Indian Ocean Station in 11 minutes. crew had sign off there, said that they might plan to give us some unscheduled TV later today, mid-deck area. We have been anticipating TV on orbit number 48 at Goldstone and Merritt Island. Challenger presently on orbit number 47. So we would expect some TV on the next stateside pass. At 2 days, 21 hours, 39 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 21 hours, 49 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger about to be acquired at the Indian Ocean Station.
And Challenger, we're back with you at ND for about 6 minutes.
We hear you, TJ. And TJ, let me read these CFIS pressures to you again.
Okay, go ahead, Sally.
It sounds like John.
Yeah, everybody confuses us.
I can see why.
And I'm standing by to copy.
Okay, hang on just a second. Okay, John, I've got a Delta P1 and Delta P2 right now reading just about plus 14 or plus 15. I don't want to call them up right now. I'm at the point where I ought to start the sample flow. That just happened, and I wanted to check with you before I did that with Delta P's reading a little bit high.
Okay, let me check. Understand they're reading 14 and 15 now?
Yeah, that's right.
And Sally, before we press on, we'd like to call up all the Delta P readings and also give us an RPM2 and an RPM3.
Okay, John, I did just start the sample flow with no voltage. I've got Delta P3 is 14.2, Delta P1 is 15.4, Delta P2 is 1.5, and stand by. Delta P4 is 5.8.
You copy those?
Okay, RPM 2. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Sally.
Okay, RPM 2 is 1591. And RPM 3 is 1786.
We copy those. And Sally, since you've started the flow already, go ahead and press on.
Okay, good. I'll keep going. Thanks. And just let me know if you need any more numbers for some troubleshooting.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I said let me know if you need any more.
Okay, I'll do that. We
got a little less than a minute here. We'll see you Yorga D at 2205.
See you there.
This is Shuttle Control. Loss of signal through the Indian Ocean Station. Next acquisition through Yargady in 8 minutes. At 2 days, 21 hours, 57 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control at 2 days, 22 hours, 4 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger approaching acquisition through Yargady.
And Challenger, we're back with you, Yorga D for 8 minutes. Challenger, we're with the Yorga D for 7 minutes and check for a stuck key. Challenger, Houston, how do you read? Challenger, Houston, how do you read?
Loud and clear, John. Help me.
Okay, we finally got you. We think maybe there was a key stuck.
Okay, anything for us right now?
Not really.
Okay, John. First thing is, hoping since we're passing over the fair country of Australia that Captain Joe Kerwin of NASA might be listening, and we'd like to thank him very much for the very kind telegram that he sent us prior to launch. And we'd like to send him and all the folks that are supporting us down there in Australia our best wishes.
I'm sure they'll all appreciate that.
Next subject. We decided to go in and look at the DEUs and their filters, and using the IFM checklist, we pulled off L8 and L16 closeout panels, and it looks like some of the filters on the DEUs dislodged probably during ascent, and they're out of 4 filters for the 2 DEUs that are behind L8, 3 of the filters are no longer where they ought to be, and so we're going to get a little vacuum cleaner action in there and clean out the lint that is collected around the heat exchangers that we can see, and then we'll try to put those filters back where they belong.
Okay, sounds like a good plan. Hey, Rick, you mentioned earlier another TV pass. We have one scheduled for Cephas here at the next Buckhorn. Did you want one in addition to that sometime today?
Houston Challenger, how do you read?
Read you loud and clear. Challenger, you got a continuous key. Challenger, how do you read? Challenger, how do you read? Okay, somebody on board we think maybe has a continuous key.
Okay, we'll check it out. Challenger, how do you read?
Reading you loud and clear, John. You're the one that has a continuous key every time you key. It stays on for a minute or two.
This is shuttle control. Yargity has loss of signal now.
Challenger, John.
I'm reading you loud and clear, Sally. Keys his mic. We get a continuous key for 1 or 2 minutes.
LOS Yargity. Next station is Hawaii in 19 minutes. Considerable trouble with UHF communications during this Yargity pass. Apparently one of the crewmen's keys sticks when he transmits, which wipes out the communications. During that pass at Yargity, Rick Houck sent down the crew's best wishes to astronaut Joe Kerwin and all the folks in Australia supporting this flight. Kerwin, who flew in the Skylab program, is currently serving a tour in Australia as the senior NASA scientific advisor to the government there. At 2 days, 22 hours, 15 minutes mission elapsed time, this is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control at 2 days, 22 hours, 32 minutes mission elapsed time, standing by for acquisition through Hawaii.
Challenger, we're back with you over Hawaii for about 2.5 minutes.
Okay, how do you read me, Big John?
Reading you loud and clear now. We think maybe somebody had a continuous key back there, maybe voxed or something like that with max sensitivity.
Oh, we haven't been using Vox. We've had a couple of these HIUs hang up with keying before, but we're back with you. I don't know if you heard, we've had Rick down here cleaning the fans on DEUs 2 and 3. That job is now complete, and he's letting it back up. They did have quite a bit of debris, and a couple of those little screens had actually shaken off probably during ascent, so that some of the debris appeared to be on the little heat exchanger itself, but that's all cleaned up now.
Okay, Chris, we copy that, and we'd like to talk to Sally and have her do some parameter changes on the Cephas.
Okay, stand by.
Okay, John. Let me get a pencil.
Okay, Sally, the addresses we need changed there are 4 of them. They're 1548, 1549, 1550, and 1551. The new values we want are 220, 026, 040, and 025. And what we're doing there is adjusting RPMs 2 and 3, and you're going to get an out-of-range message, and we'd like for you to disregard those. This is to adjust them so we can get the delta P's back in order.
Okay, John, I copied down address 1548, 49, 50, and 51. New values 220, 026, 040, and 025.
That's correct.
Okay, and let me tell you about one other thing. Just when the voltage came on during the SEP run with no sample flowing, we got a record field indication, and it was Echo 400, which I think is the carrier fluid. And that happened at an MET of 2224.
We copy that.
And I'll change these addresses now.
Okay, we're approaching LOS. I'll see you at Buckhorn at 2242.
See you then.
This is Shuttle Control. Hawaii has lost a signal. Challenger will be within range of the Buckhorn station in 5 minutes. At 2 days, 22 hours, 37 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 22 hours, 42 minutes mission elapsed time. Buckhorn has acquisition now.
And Challenger, we're with you over Buckhorn now, and we'll be with you stateside for about 12 more minutes. Challenger, Houston's back with you.
Roger that. How do you read, Big John?
Okay, got you loud and clear. We're trying to figure out our configuration here, and we're wondering if you did a panel command a while back.
That's a negative. No.
Okay, Crip, it looks like if you didn't do one on purpose, we got one inadvertently.
No. We had a back when we were over Australia here, somebody did a panel command, so you're right.
Did anybody change their ACCU?
Say again?
Did anyone change their ACCU?
Say again, your last, John?
Did anybody change the ACCU?
Negative.
Okay, we're going to go back to our original configuration, and you'll get an NSP message.
Roger that.
And John, I changed those CFIS parameters, and let me read you RPM 3 and RPM 2 just for your information. RPM 3 is 1727. RPM 2 is 1513.
We copy. And right now we have a constant key on somebody's UHF.
Okay, let me go around and I will turn mine off over here on 05 and see if that corrects the problem.
Okay.
Did that change anything? Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're checking, and while we do that, would you give us command on the TV?
I'm going to handle the TV for this pass.
Okay. And we still have the constant key, Crip.
Okay, here comes the mid deck off. Mid deck is off now for UHF.
We're checking. Okay, that was where the problem was.
Okay, we'll leave it off for a while.
We got one other thing we'd like to do here with the ANIC. It seems like the restraint pins were not fully withdrawn, and we'd like to command them withdraw them from the ground. So we get somebody to turn the ANIC SCA power on via the Q card.
Okay, we'll power up the ANIC.
And we'll withdraw them from the ground in here, and I'll tell you when to turn it the SCA power back down.
Roger that.
And we just want you to power it up and leave the SCA disabled.
Roger, I understand.
And we got about 2 minutes and 40 seconds more of TV coverage.
Wait a minute, are you taking TV now?
Yes, sir. We got your patch right now.
Okay, thank you. We wanted to show you something else that we got. Recently, the crew of Flight 7 had an opportunity to visit the President. Supplied us with one of his favorite candies, some jelly beans straight from the White House that we've been enjoying up here.
Looks tasty. Better grab them.
And we've been grabbing them a little bit. There's Captain Houck making a famous grab.
The Astros could have used him last night. They lost another one.
And Big John. It's a little easier to make the catches here.
That's firm.
Get the dock in the picture here. I tell you, it's tough keeping up with this group. On how much longer we got TV?
Okay, we just lost you through Buckhorn. We'll regain you at Mile in about a minute.
Roger that. And I believe get a hold of the Anik here.
And we're regaining TV.
Roger that. And you're starting off with a little of our patriotic symbol.
We all recognize that.
Roger that.
And John, just to give you an update on the CFAS, we've got the sample flowing in here, and I know that unfortunately you can't see it because it's really a pretty sample. It starts off before the separation, it was a deep purple, and now it's starting to separate into 3 distinct streams. And we do have a blue one on the far left, a white one in the middle, and a red one on the outside, and it's really nice. We may try and see if we can get a color TV close-up of that later on for you. It's really pretty.
Okay.
And it's got the TV.
He's starting to smile.
Got to keep that smiling. And on the Anik, did you want us to do an IO in it with an item 1?
That's affirmative.
It'll work.
And John, we just got another record filled on the CFAS. It's address Charlie 000.
Understand Charlie 000, record fill.
That's right.
Okay, you got the IO on the Anik, and we're standing by for further instructions. Okay.
Okay, we're going to send a series of commands here from the ground to withdraw the pins, and we'll let you know when that's done, and you can power down the SCA.
Okay, I understand.
And John, if you could have Inco call up the flight deck camera, we've got the CFAS streams.
And that's what you got right now.
Yeah, we're seeing that right now, Sally. And we can, in fact, see the separate streams.
That's great.
And John, if you would, enable the SCA for us.
Okay, SCA-2 enable, coming at you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we got one index pin withdrawn, and we're working on the other one.
Okay, we're showing them both out.
Go ahead, Sally.
Okay, I was just going to give you a little bit of description of the streams for the CFAS people. It looks like we're seeing a few standing waves, oscillations, but not wavering of the stream. It looks like the streams are kind of sinusoidal, but they don't seem to be wavering back and forth. And we'll check the exit tube numbers for them once the sample gets to the top. It's not quite up to the top yet.
We copy, and you can power down the SCA.
Okay, thank you.
We were wondering if the cabin fan or the DEU filters were back in place.
Yeah, that's affirmative. Rick's got them back on the 2 that we checked. That's DEUs 2 and 3.
Yeah, we're still going to go over it and get 4.
Okay. And Sally, we'd like, if you have time, to give us another readout of all 4 Delta Ps.
Okay, all 4 Delta Ps. Delta P1 is 1.1. Delta P2 is 0.3. Delta P3 is 1.2, and Delta P4 is 1.6.
We copy those, and for your information, we had another spectacular view of you as you went over Houston this morning.
Great. We had a good view of you, too.
Oh, it was all black.
That's why we could see you real well. You were in the sunlight and we weren't.
Roger that.
TV still coming through nice and clear.
Sally's just working away down there.
Grip, we were wondering if anybody's tried them, if you'd give us a qualitative analysis of how the very light headsets feel.
Say again your last time.
We were wondering if anybody had tried the very lightweight headsets, and if so, what's the qualitative analysis?
Well, we're using a mixture. I guess it's like everything, there are pros and cons to both. I'm not sure that I find any big overdriving factor right now. The biggest thing that is pro for the very lightweight is the noise canceling mic, which I thought were going to allow us to use the speakers. However, some of them still tend to interfere, so we're not exactly able to do that, although that is the configuration I'm working at night.
We copy.
I've got one on now, John, and it's pretty comfortable, but we've had a couple problems losing the foam off the ear pads on 2 of them, and that makes them almost unusable.
Copy that, and we lost our picture.
Sorry about that.
And we got 3 more minutes at Bermuda. Could you give us a little information on what caused the cabin fan message?
Yeah, to clean those DEUs, we were having a hard time sucking off the dust with the cabin fan on, so we secured it for just a little bit to do that.
Okay.
One thing you could pass on, John, for putting these guys, we did manage to get around the cockpit and mark it in quite a few places, and also take some measurements to record the distortion that we are getting due to pressurization on orbit.
We copy that. And Sally, those CFIS numbers you read to us sound good.
Okay, good.
And we're about a minute and a half away from losing you here at Bermuda. We'll see you at Dakar in about 4 minutes. And if you would, we'd like to know what your mid-deck comm configuration is at that time.
Okay. We can tell you.
That's on the ATU.
Roger that. I tell you now, we'll tell you there.
Or you can tell me now.
Okay, it's airground 1 PR. Airground 2 is off, and air is off.
Copy.
And one question for you folks you might consider, we wonder if there's anything you'd like us to do with regard to the spas later today in preparation for clock stop tomorrow.
That's all still under investigation, John. We'll get back to you as soon as we come up with something.
Okay, no big rush at all.
And at Dakar, we would like to have all the particular switching positions on that ATU when we get there.
Not sure I comprehend, but we'll be prepared to do whatever it is you want.
It's Dr. Fendel's never-ending search for knowledge.
I will take that one.
This is Shuttle Control. Bermuda has loss of signal. Dakar will lock on to Challenger in about 2.5 minutes. TV from both Goldstone and Mila during this stateside pass.
And we're back with you, Dakar and Ascension, for about 10 minutes.
Sound clear, John.
And whenever you got an opportunity, if you just go to the mid-deck ATU and read me all the positions, including the volume knobs.
Okay, John, I'm getting there now.
And we're trying to find out what caused that constant keying from that ATU.
Okay, power's in audio tone. Air to ground 1 is TR, air to ground 2 is off, air to air is off. ICOM A and B are both TR. Shock sensitivity is 4. Volume is 8. All the thumb wheels are 5s. It's PTT, PTT. Tones ACU, and the speaker mic is off.
Thank you. Okay, when you stopped that constant keying, did you do anything other than turn the power off? I guess a better question is, what did you do to stop the constant keying on that ATU? And Sally, are you still by the ATU?
Yeah, it could be.
Could you turn air to ground 2 on or put it in TR and give us a check?
Okay. It's in TR now.
Okay, put the air to air to TR now.
There.
Okay, turn the air to air to off. That sounds like the problem.
Okay, air to air and air to ground 2 are both off on the mid-deck ATU.
Okay, leave the air to ground 2 in TR. It looks like we get a constant key on the air to air when it's in the TR position.
What?
We'd like to try the air to air and the receive only and see what happens.
Okay.
Sally, leave air to ground 2 and off.
And Challenger, that completes the troubleshooting, and we'll leave that ATU in its present configuration. And Crip, we're going to update your state vector here shortly.
And John, on the CFS, we just got another record filled, Echo Charlie 00.
We copy. We got a minute to LOS here. We'll see you at Botswana at 2324.
This is Shuttle Control. Challenger has moved out of range at Ascension Island, which had some overlapping coverage with Dakar on this orbit. Next acquisition, Botswana, in 7 minutes, 15 seconds. CFIS operations continuing. Those operations scheduled to continue for the next several hours. At 2 days, 23 hours, 16 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control at 2 days, 23 hours, 23 minutes mission elapsed time. Standing by for acquisition through Botswana on orbit number 48.
And Challenger, we're back with you on the UHF at Botswana for about 4 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. And one of my IFM persons, Rick, has got the other DEU side cleaned up, and there was quite a bit of, I think there was even more debris over on the 2-3 side, but he's got it all done, and he's in the process of buckling up the panels right now.
Good job.
He does good work in spite of what I say about him.
We copy.
Could I ask you a question, please, sir?
Yes, sir.
Since it doesn't appear that we're going to be doing spas anymore this afternoon, what's the chances of going ahead and loading TFLs 103 and 161?
I'll be right back to you.
Okay, no rush.
Crip, we don't see a reason why you can't go back to the 161 format. If we do later on this afternoon do a SPAS checkout for some reason, we'll have to go back to this format.
Okay, well, let me check with my doc whether there's any need of to run any stuff before we go ahead and load.
Finished.
This is Shuttle Control, 2 days, 23 hours, 40 minutes mission elapsed time. Yargady has acquired Challenger.
And Challenger, how do you read?
How do you read that?
Read you the same, Crip. Yargady had its antenna stuck in a vertical position there for about 6 minutes.
Okay.
Hey, John, I got a couple numbers for the CEPAS people.
Okay, I'm standing by.
Okay, these are the separation voltages that Q-card asked me to run over in block H on the card. So the first reading was 255 volts. The second reading was 252 volts.
Okay, thank you, Sally.
Okay. And right now the first sample is flushing out, and we're getting ready to do the second sample.
Thank you.
Just a note of interest, I was watching the top of the column during the collection, and there really is quite a bit of waver up at the top of the column. It looked like it was maybe wavering, I'd say 10 or 15 exit tubes. It's hard to quantify, but it was moving around quite a bit.
We copy? We're approaching LOS. We'll see you at Hawaii at 06. That's 0006.
Roger that.
This is Shuttle Control. Challenger out of range now at Yargady. Next station, Hawaii. In about 16 minutes. At 2 days, 23 hours, 50 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston. This is Shuttle Control. At 3 days, 5 minutes mission elapsed time. Challenger started orbit 49 a short time ago. Now approaching acquisition through Hawaii.
And Challenger, we're back with you at Hawaii for about 7.5 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear, Big John. You guys going to try to do another little K-band stuff here in Hawaii?
No, sir, we're going to do that over Milo with TV.
Okay, fine. Well, we'll have the cameras set up and waiting on you guys.
Thank you, sir. I got a new attitude we'd like for you to go to. We want to cool down the spas some.
Okay, stand by one. I'm ready to copy.
Okay, we want to point the payload bay to deep space for a while, so we'll use a body vector number 5 with a pitch of 270, a yaw of 062, and an Omicron of 0. And the target ID will be a 2.
Okay, understand. Target ID is 2, body vector is 5, pitch of 270, yaw 062, and Omicron is 0. And would you like to do that now?
Stand by 1, Crip. Okay, Crip, it shouldn't affect the upcoming KU test, so go ahead and do your maneuvering now.
Okay, similar. Okay, maneuvers in progress.
Yes, sir, we see that.
If payload is interested, we saw gas canister 2's lid close at 23:36.
We copy?
And Houston Challenger, reference our earlier request about another TV pass. I think we've already broke down all the TVs, so I didn't turn anything on like that. We just soon not do it.
Okay, we copy. We got a minute to go here at Hawaii. We'll see you at Buckhorn at 17.
Okay, fine and dandy.
This is Shuttle Control. Hawaii has lost a signal. Commander Bob Crippen is maneuvering Challenger to a new attitude to point the payload bay at deep space to help cool down spas. Challenger's payload bay has been pointed toward the Earth. We still expect to get the scheduled television pass at Merritt Island during this stateside pass. That TV is of the KU band antenna pointing. However, we do not expect to get a cabin television. Crippen reporting that the cameras had been stowed. Buckhorn will acquire a Challenger in just over 30 seconds. We'll stand by. This is Shuttle Control. The current flight control team will break shift at 7:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time Flight Director Tommy Holloway, the off-coming flight director, has scheduled his change of shift news conference for 8:30 Central Daylight Time. Change of shift news conference, 8:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, room 135 at the JSC News Center.
And Challenger, we're back with you over the mainland for about 17 minutes.
Okie dokie. Looks to us like we ought to be coming over just about overhead you guys this fast.
That's affirmative.
And it should be daylight.
Yes, sir.
And how's your weather?
Well, we can't see outside, but I hear rumors that it's clear.
Oh, good. One of the problems with the Mocha. You guys have got us rolled over just in time where we can't see it, maybe. But we'll be looking.
Roger that. And Sally, how's the Cephas doing these days?
I think she's down there taking pictures.
We were wondering if she had the same problem getting the sample 2 syringe in.
Okay, I'll get her to give you a report on that after a while.
Okay.
Okay, we estimate that we're passing just a little south and north of the strip right now.
Roger that.
And Houston, Sally reports no problems getting the number 2 syringe in. She's in the process right now of putting in a new sample tray, and she would like to chat with you as soon as she's finished with that activity.
We copy. And we're handing over to Milo for the TV. And we got a good picture.
That's the Palacios area. Right, we got Matagorda Island and the Palacios area in the view out the window. Unfortunately, you guys are down on the belly.
Roger that.
Good. Still playing with the KU now?
Yes, sir.
And John, if you've got a minute, I'm ready to tell you where I am in the Cephas.
Okay, go ahead, Sally.
Okay, we're collecting sample 2 right now. The collector is up and all the right lights are on and everything. It looks good. The one thing that is unusual about this, and I think it happened the last run, although I'm not so sure, but the deflection, the overall deflection of the stream seems to be more than I was expecting anyway. In fact, it looks like it's a little bit hard to tell because the streams are pretty diffuse and a little bit hard to see. But the third stream over to the right seems to be off to the edge of the tube, and I think it's hitting the edge, and it looks like it's just kind of sliding up the right-hand side of the column.
We copy.
And Houston, Challenger, John just noticed that our gas 2 lid is back open again.
We copy.
And John, I'm looking more closely at the exit tube numbers right now, and I may have been wrong about what I told you. Right now, the first stream, the one furthest left, is exiting between 60 and 80.
Copy, Sally.
And the second one looks like it's starting at 100 and goes over to about 120.
Copy.
And the third one is very hard to see, but it looks like it's starting at around 150.
Copy that.
In any case, I took a couple extra pictures trying to document where it looked like it was running into the wall down towards the middle of the column. So I don't know if there's a problem or not.
It sounds okay to the Cephas folks.
Okay, that's good.
We just had a nice pass by Biscayne Bay.
Roger that.
And John, you can tell them that we just got another record filled, and this one is Echo 800.
Copy, Echo 800.
That's right.
We're about 30 seconds to an LOS here. We'll see you down at, let me see, Dakar in about 6 minutes. And Sally, due to one of those record fills, we're not getting flow ones. So CWIS folks would like for you to read that out each time you take a separation voltage. That would help.
Okay, I'll read out flow 1 with the separation voltages, and the separation voltages for this one were both 242, and the collection's complete.
Thank you.
And we're going to go grab a bite of lunch. Thank you.
Roger, sir, and we'll see you at 4-3.
This is Shuttle Control. Bermuda has loss of signal. Dakar will pick up Challenger in about 6.5 minutes. There'll be overlapping coverage at Ascension. Bob Crippen indicating that the crew is getting ready for lunch. Sally Ride continuing to operate the Cephas. At 3 days, 36 minutes mission elapsed time. This is Shuttle Control, Houston.
Challenger, we're back with you at Dakar and Ascension for 9 minutes.
Okay, John, we hear you, and we're enjoying noodles and chicken and turkey.
Sounds good.
It's tough to reply to you with a mouthful of food.
And Crip, while you're eating, if you're in the mood to listen, I can give you a quick overview of what we intend to do with the spas today and tomorrow.
You want to do that now?
If you're in the mood to listen.
Yeah, John, Crip and John aren't on comm now, and if it could wait for just a few minutes, that'd be better for us.
That's fine. Let us know when a good time.
Okay, how long is this pass?
We got about 5 more minutes here, and then we'll see you at Botswana for a good 6 minutes or so.
Okay, Botswana would probably be a good time.
Yeah, and it'll be about 8 minutes. We'll lose you in about 45 seconds. We'll see you down at Botswana at 5-6.
Okay, John, talk to you at Botswana.
Challenger, we're back with you at Botswana for about 7 minutes.
Okay, Big John and John and I are standing by to talk about spots.
Okay, the Crip, the big overview is we're going to leave you in this deep space pointing attitude for the remainder of the day and let you go back to minus ZLV for the sleep period. And the reason we're doing it is to let the spas get a good cold soak. We had intended on doing a short checkout this afternoon, but we decided not to do another thermal cycle on the thing. We think it'll work well tomorrow, so we're going to leave it where it is, do a short checkout tomorrow, and proceed on with the test from there.
Okay, is that checkout going to be where we would normally check out the spots?
We'll work up those procedures, and they'll come up to you tonight.
Okie doke, and somebody will come up with approximate time you want us to go back to ZLV?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I copy that. That sounds good to me, and we're still planning this afternoon to activate the friction experiment on time and to stop the Mount 1 experiment no earlier than 0428 by my calculations.
And those comments are correct. And Crip, we're open to any other further comments you might have as far as adjusting sleep periods or anything else you might want to do to make things run a little smoother.
Okay, how much time do they think that some adjustment in sleep period is going to be required? We're already pulling it forward 2 hours tonight.
We're estimating that the checkout in the morning will be approximately 30 to 40 minutes.
And do you think that's on top of what we already have?
We're looking at deleting that course of line, which may alleviate some of the problem.
Well, yeah, I think that'll work out pretty good then, so I think we can probably hack it within the time period we have.
Okay, and if you have any other comments about it the remainder of the day, we're open for anything.
Okay, that sounds good, and I'll just plan to use the post-sleep period or a portion of it in the morning so we're ready to go on time, and we'll look forward to seeing the procedures when you're ready to send them up.
Okay, and the latest word is we will try to get you those procedures up this afternoon so you can mull them over a little bit before you go to sleep this evening.
It'd make it a heck of a lot easier if you could.
Okay.
Well, we look forward to doing business with you.
Thank you, sir. And, John, we'd like to go ahead and start the friction experiment as soon as you feel it's reasonable to do.
Okay, I'll give you a time hack on that, but it'll be within the next minute or two. How's that?
That's great. And one other thing, we're going to do that tags test here on orbit number 50, and we got to power that thing up about 30 minutes early, so I got about 3 switches I'd like for you to check if somebody can do that.
I'm available.
Okay, on panel A1, we need to get the KU control to command.
That's verified.
On A7, the CCTV power to main alpha.
Stand by one. Say that one again.
On panel Alpha 7, A7, the CCTV power to main alpha.
And you've got that?
Okay, and the only other thing we need is on the tags itself, we need to get the master power enabled.
Okay, it should have launched that way, but we'll verify.
Thank you, sir, and INCO will take it from there.
What pass is he going to do that on?
He's planning on doing that on the next stateside pass on orbit 50.
Okay, sounds good, and I can verify that the master power is enabled.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, John, I'm ready to activate the friction experiment at this time, and I'd like to assume that the friction temperature is still within limits. It's been within limits during the entire operation. That way I don't have to power up the DHS.
You may assume that.
Okay, it's in work, and I'll give you a hack. John, you guys think that we can stay in this attitude until IMU align and then just go pick up the IMU and then go from there to ZLZ?
Right now, that's the plan, Grip.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. Okay, John, friction was activated at 010230, and I'm going to keep the circuit breaker and the panel active switch on until the completion of the friction experiment.
Thank you, sir. We copy that. Got about a minute left here at Botswana. We'll see you at Yargadi at 0117.
0117.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Loss of signal at Botswana. The crew during the Botswana pass was instructed to leave the spacecraft in a deep space pointing attitude, that is, with the payload bay continuously away from the sun, inertially.
117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 117. 1
several hours at least until prior to the sleep period, and then another look will be made at whether we need to stay in that attitude. Primarily this is for cooling down the overheated component in the SPAS pallet satellite. The friction experiment was activated during the pass at, but later on today the cabin will be repressurized to 14.7 normal operating pressure after some 29.5 hours at 10.2 pounds per square inch. Yargity upcoming in 11 minutes. Day 3, 0 hours 5 minutes, 1 hour 5 minutes. This is Mission Control, Houston. This is Mission Control, Houston. Acquisition in 40 seconds at Yargity, Australia. Nearing the end of orbit 49. Final Yargity pass of the morning.
Challenger, the Granite team is with you at Yargity. Challenger, Houston, the Granite team with you at Yargity for 6 minutes.
Houston Challenger, how do you read?
Roger, loud and clear now. The Granite team is with you at Yargity for 5 minutes.
Okay, Granite team.
How you guys doing this afternoon?
Great, how are y'all doing?
Just clicking along.
We just finished our breakfast.
By my watch, it's about 5 of 8.
Roger that. Challenger, Houston will be going LOS in 30 seconds. See you at Guam at 1+29.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Roughly 50 seconds to reacquisition of Challenger through the Guam tracking station, which will be the start of orbit number 50 for this flight. The off-going flight director, Tommy Holloway, will hold his change of shift news briefing in the Building 2 News Center briefing room at 8:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. To repeat, Flight Director Tommy Holloway, 8:30, briefing room, Building 2, JSC. We should have acquisition about now at Guam.
Challenger, Houston with you at Guam for 5 minutes.
Loud and clear.
And Challenger, if you can just verify that the right ADI is in inertial.
Hold the right ADI is off OFS.
Okay, we'd like to have it in inertial, please.
Be happy. Why do you need that?
It'll just put some data down on the telemetry for us.
Okay. What kind of data is you guys looking for?
Roger, we'd just like to follow the attitudes when we do the playbacks. That provides it for us.
I thought we were trying to minimize cryo use.
Okay, Quip, we don't need it powered up. we now have the attitudes we were looking for. It's fine the way it is.
I'm lost, John. Are you telling me I can go ahead and pull the DD?
Yes. Challenger, Houston, we're going LOS here in 20 seconds. We'll see you at Hawaii at 1 plus 42.
Okay, John, see you there.
Mission Control, Houston, LOS at Guam. 5 minutes away from reacquisition at Hawaii. Day 3, 1 hour, 36 minutes. This is Mission Control, Houston. This is Mission Control, Houston. Reacquisition in 40 seconds at Hawaii. Change of shift briefing with Flight Director Tommy Holloway will start at 8:30 Central Daylight in the Johnson Space Center newsroom, room 135.
Challenger, Houston with you at Hawaii for 8 minutes.
Loud and clear, John.
And, John, CFIS 3 collection is complete.
Copy that, Sally.
We had no problems, and if you've got a pencil handy, I can give you the separation voltages and flow 1.
Roger, ready to copy. Go ahead.
It was 247, 247, and 044.
Copy that. Thank you.
And Houston, Challenger, for your information, for payloads, the step 2 of the friction experiment is complete.
Roger, we copy. Thank you. Good show. And Challenger, Houston, we have a note for you on a little troubleshooting with CRT-3.
Okay, go ahead.
Roger, Bob. We would like you to power up CRT-3 and assign it to an SM machine, and then report the status of the CRT, and then give us a report of the positions of the DU and the DEU byte flags, and reset if required.
Okay. Okay, we got a DEU byte flag.
Copy that. We got a DEU byte flag, and Bob, we're just doing this to see if the long power off helps us out at all.
Okay. Anything else you want me to do with it?
We would like you to try to reset the flag, Bob.
Okay, the flag reset.
Is the CRT still blank, Crip?
Affirmative.
Copy that. We'd like you to put the major function switch in SM, Crip.
It is an SM.
Okay, our data was showing different. Thank you.
I'll be happy to cycle it.
Roger.
I cycled it to GNC and back to SM.
Copy. Stand by one, Bob. We're going to be looking at the data we have for a few minutes. We'll get back to you.
Okay, doke.
Crip, we see spec 88 on the CRT down here. If you'd go ahead and hit a resume for us, please.
I don't see how I can hardly have a Spec 88 since that's a display, but okay. There's the resume.
Thank you.
John, this is Norm.
Go ahead, Norm.
Hey, for Bill Thornton, I sent down a EOG using the DC amp on the biomed channels about 35 minutes ago.
Okay, we'll get the message to him.
Okay, and again, would appreciate feedback on how that DC amp is working.
Okay, we'll get it back to you, Norm.
Thanks.
Challenger Houston, we're going LOS in 10 seconds. We'll see you at the States at 151.
Okay, John, see you there.
Mission Control Houston. Loss of signal at Hawaii. Reacquisition across the states at Buckhorn in about 50 seconds. Mission Specialist Sally Ride reported that the Sample 3 collection in the CFIS, Continuous Flow Electrophoresis System, is complete. John Fabian reported that the SPAS friction experiment run was complete. Additional troubleshooting procedures were passed up through and then to sort what's wrong with the CRT or cast number 3. Period of no might have helped, but no joy. The CRT is still blank. We should be acquiring through Buckhorn momentarily.
Challenger Houston's with you at the States for 16 minutes. Challenger Houston with you at the States for 16 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear, John. How do you read me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, Houston, we just IOR on CRT3. Did you do anything that might have initiated that?
Roger, we did a resume on it from down here, Bob.
Okay.
And Quip, just a report on our CRT troubleshooting. Our resume worked, yours didn't. You can go ahead now and power off that CRT.
Okay, yeah, I would be surprised if mine will work since I've got to go through mine through the DU. Okay.
And Challenger Houston, we're going to go LOS here for in 20 seconds for a minute. Norm, an answer to you. We haven't processed the data yet, but as soon as we do, we'll give you a feedback as to how it looks.
Okay, appreciate it. That's what one of the E units sounds like.
And Challenger Houston, we're back with you again. And if you could repeat the transmission, Norm, you made right as we went LOS, please.
He just gave you a Roger, and I said that's what one of the E units sounds like.
Okay, Quip, we still didn't understand what you said right at the end. If you could repeat, please.
Okay, Norm, you're a Roger. How do you read me now?
Okay, we copy you now.
And I just told you that was what one of the E WCCU sounded like.
Copy you now. Crip, just for your information, we're going to send you 5 pages on the paper advances on tags.
Sending, we'll be looking for them. Are they, you starting up now?
Roger, they're on the way.
All right.
And Crip, we're finished with the tags now. We think we got 2 full sheets out. We would like you to confirm that for us, please. We may have a jam.
Let me go take a look at it. Okay, well, we've got a piece of paper that came through, and we've got no lights.
We copy that. We'll be going LOS 30 seconds. See you at Ascension at 3+02.
3+00.
And we had turned the power off, Bob. That's why there are no lights.
Oh, you'd already turned it off. Okay.
Mission Control Houston, loss of signal at Mila in 11 minutes. Day 3. Mission Control Houston, we have acquisition through Ascension Island at this time.
Challenger Houston with you at Ascension for 6 minutes.
Loud and clear, John.
And Crip, just a note for you, reference the tags.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, Sally, y'all are welcome to look at the tags with a flashlight or something if you want, but we would like to preserve the condition that it is in when it cut down, and as well if you could save the paper for us that it put out.
I'd like to preserve its condition and save the paper.
Roger that.
We'll do that. And John, we're in the process of recreating the original condition of the tag's paper.
Roger, we copy that, recreating it.
Yes. We'll see your message was not timely.
Roger, we copy.
We couldn't figure out what anybody wrote with a blank piece of paper.
And Crip, we're going to power the tags back on here to take a look at its condition.
Okay. If it's capable of transmitting, you might send up another piece of paper.
Okay, we'll check on that. And Crip, we'd like to know if you think, by looking at the tags there, that the jam is cleared.
There's no way I can tell. Unless you want me to go in and open up the front door, which exposes a bunch of film, a bunch of paper.
No, that's okay. Don't do that. We'll sort out what we want to do here.
Power it up and give it another try.
Okay, Crip, we have it connected to the jail. And from we have a gene spec, we would like to go ahead and return to Z.
Okay, I understand. Go to return to CLV.
Affirmative. We're LOS in 15 seconds. See you at Botswana at 2+32.
+32.
Mission Control Houston, ascension, 3 minutes and a little gap across the South Atlantic to acquisition through Botswana. The that the attitude from Space Shuttle, since their mass spectrometers get colder than was expected. Griffin going to acquisition.
Or 7.
Howdy, howdy.
And stated at
0231. 023110. Thank you very much, Sally.
Say again, John.
Roger. Copy. Mia activated. We time. Challenger here going LOS in 20 seconds. We'll see you at Guam at 3+03.
3+06. See you there.
Mission Control Houston, LOS at Botswana. Mission Specialist Sally Ride reported that the MIA-2 materials experiment assembly number 2 was activated just prior to AOS at Botswana. Next station, Guam, in 22 minutes. This is Mission Control Houston, day 3, 2 hours, 41 minutes.
Challenger Houston with you at Guam for 8 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear. And Houston, Challenger, you folks can still go for a cabin refresh at 0400, right?
Roger that, Crip, and we have a change to the checklist for you, page 5-5, when you get to there.
Okay, I'm looking at it.
Okay, Bob, on the left side over there, on M032M, we want you to delete the 2 lines there, the LEH02 and the remove and stow. Delete those 2 lines, and it's just going to be okay to leave the orifice in and on.
Okay, well, I'm assuming that we're going to go back to our manual management after that, which would call for that LEH025 open during the day and closed at night. Is that affirmative?
Roger, Bob, we want you to leave the orifice open, and you're right, we want you to do the manual cabin atmosphere management.
Okay, only clarify one more point for me, John. Tonight, in the pre-sleep, are we to go to close the orifice at that time?
Negative. We would like you to leave the orifice open in the pre-sleep as well.
Okay, I copy. We'll just leave it open. Thank you.
Challenger, Houston, we're going LOS in 30 seconds. We'll see you at Hawaii at 3+18.
See you there, John.
Mission Control Houston, LOS at Hawaii. 5 minutes until, LOS Guam, 5 minutes until Hawaii. Depressurization of the cabin will take place in the flight plan time, back up to 14.7 psi, having been at 10.2 for the past 30 hours. This is Mission Control, Houston. We have acquisition at Hawaii for almost 8 minutes.
Challenger, Houston, with you at Hawaii for 7 minutes.
Loud and clear, John. Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead.
Roger. I did want to report for Econ if you hadn't noticed it that when we took Freon Loop 1 proportioning valve back to interchangeable from payload, we did get a momentary hardware C&W on Freon flow, but it was so fast that I had to go read the memory to figure out what it was.
Stand by one.
Yeah, it looked like just a temporary glitch in the system.
Ecom copied that crypt and he concurs. And Challenger, Houston, will be going LOS at Hawaii here with you in 1 minute.
We'll see you at Buckhorn at 3+27. Any comments you have on the cabin temperature today? Challenger, Houston, with 1 for 6 minutes. Okay, loud and clear. And regarding cabin temp, I think most of us felt a little bit chilly when we woke up this morning. In fact,
Challenger, Houston, we're going LOS in 30 seconds. We'll see you at Ascension at 3+59.
Roger that.
Challenger, Houston with you at Ascension for a short pass, and I have a switch change for you back on A7L.
Okay, go ahead, John.
Roger, if you'd put the MAD strain gauge to on, please.
Okay, that same gauge is on now.
Thank you. We just wanted to do that because the strain gauges got cold during our deep space attitude.
Need to keep more, for sure. Thank you.
Roger. And we'll see, we're going to go LOS here in 30 seconds. We'll see you at Botswana at 4 plus 08.
Bye-bye.
Challenger, Houston with you at Botswana for 7 minutes with 2 notes for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Roger, on the first one, when you're doing your supply and water tank dumps tonight, we would like you to do those dumps at the same time. We would like water supply tank Bravo to be dumped to 20% and the wastewater tank to 35%.
Okay, you want the supply water Bravo to 20% and the wastewater to 35%, is that affirmed?
That's affirmative.
Okay, and we'll do most of those simul.
Roger that.
Got anything else for us?
Roger, and the second note, Crib, just a reminder on the cryo heater reconfig. The O2 tank 3 quantity is now below 55%. So when you do that tonight, configure the O2 tank 3 heater A to auto, B off, and the H2 tank 3 heater both A and B to auto.
We understand. Thank you.
Roger that. And Crip, ECOM says you're go to start the dump anytime.
Okay, I understand. We'll go for that water dump anytime. And we got the cabin refresh in progress at this time, and we'll get it after that.
Okay. Challenger, Houston, we'll be going LOS here in 20 seconds. We'll see you at Indian Ocean in 4 minutes for a short pass.
Okay, John, see you there.
Challenger, Houston with you at Indy for 1 minute.
Right, clear. Yes, I got the cabin up. I did get a low-level limit on both in-2 quantities. System 1 just about to go under. It's just coming under 100 right now, and System 2 is down to 95 on percent again.
Roger that, Crip. We're watching it. We're going LOS here in 10 seconds. We will see you at Guam at 4 plus 40.
Okay, see you there. Well, water dump progress there.
Okay.
Challenger Houston with you at Guam for 7 minutes.
Loud and clear. And Houston Challenger, we have a water dump in progress. Let me verify I didn't invert those numbers. You want a B tank to go to 20% and a waste tank to go to 35. Is that affirmative?
That's affirmative, Grip.
Okay, fine. That's in progress, and we got the cabin back up to normal pressure, and I'm resetting the CNW limits right now on page 5-5.
Roger, copy. Challenger Houston, got a question for Norm.
Stand by one.
He's off comm now, Guy. Is there something we can relay to him?
Sure, Sally. Earlier today he said he did an EOG on himself and wanted to know how the data went, and we dumped it and can't find it, and it would help us a lot if he had a MET that we could just go look more precisely for.
Okay, we'll ask him to try and dig that up for you.
Thanks. Otherwise, we can get it post-flight.
I understand.
Challenger, we're 40 seconds to LOS. We'll see you at Hawaii at 4 + 5-4.
We'll see you there, Guy, and Norm thinks he has that time written down, and he's going to try and dig it out for you.
Okay, thank you.
If you're still there, it's about 3 days, 1 hour, at about 10 minutes.
Roger, copy. 3 days, 1 hour, 10 minutes.
Pretty close to there.
Challenger Houston with you at Hawaii for 7 minutes.
Roger that. And I hear you're sending us the telephone message.
Yes, sir. We got 3 of them coming to you. I'll tell you what they are. One is the revised SPA's checkout procedure, and another one is the revised SPA's gyro drift check procedure, and then we've got a WCCU troubleshooting procedure for if you have future problems with them.
Okay. Sounds like you guys have been busy.
Yes, we have.
Is the revised telecom procedure going to tell us to just do one drift check by any chance?
That's essentially it.
Great.
And for the payload folks, the Mouse 1 SPA's experiment has been deactivated as recently as 0454.
We copy that, thank you. Say again, Sally?
I think she said something to the effect of even as we speak.
Understand.
And how is everything in Houston as it gets close to the lunch hour?
The Tommy Holloway's getting ready to go home and have supper like you guys.
Well, I believe that.
Don't blame him. We're getting ready to have supper, too.
Challenger Houston, we're at 35 seconds to LOS. We'll see you at Botswana at 5 + 4-4.
See you at Botswana. And Guy, we're looking out the side window now watching the water dump.
Oh, yeah, I heard that's beautiful at sunset.
Or sunrise.
Challenger Houston with you through Botswana for 6.5.
We hear you, Guy.
I hear you too. Sound good.
And we got the teleprinter messages, and we're looking them over right now.
Roger that.
Guy, this is Norm.
Go ahead, Norm.
Hey, Rick and I did a better position. This unit wants to be a little noisy here. Okay, I changed position. How's the transmission now?
You sound good, Norm. You sounded good to us on the last transmission, too.
Okay, just want to report that Rick aided me in doing at least a checkout on EMU number 1 today. Although I didn't don it, the checkout was nominal. We found nothing, no parameter out of range. Everything looked good. I did just note one thing, and that is the fans seemed to run at a slightly slower speed, although it ran steady on battery power as opposed to SCU power.
Roger, understand the fans ran slightly slower on battery than they did in SCU.
Seemed to, just judging from the tone of the thing.
Okay, copy that.
I wonder if you were ever able to confirm with Bill Thornton that I did in fact get the EOGs on Rick out from the OBS channels today.
Stand by. And Norm, we've asked for the playbacks and haven't got them back yet to look at them.
I understand. You'll be pleased to know that with the exception of day one, when we had the problem with the audio evoke potentials, we've managed to get, I think, most of the DSOs done every day. We got him a lot of evoke potentials and a lot of EOGs for him to look. Now we'll see if he's got time to analyze all this stuff before he goes off and fires.
Roger that.
And Guy, I just completed the Group Charlie gas activities, and we'll be starting the IMU aligned maneuver about 5 minutes from now, so that gas number 3 will be happy.
Copy that, Sally, and I'm going to lose you here in about 20 seconds and pick you up at Indian Ocean in about another minute and a half.
Okay, see you there.
And, Guy, how do you read PLP?
You're loud and clear, Rick.
Okay.
Challenger Houston back with you through Indy for 8 minutes.
Loud clear, Guy. And it looks now like the A unit is working.
Roger, copy. The A heater's working, and Sally, you sound like you're in a hollow barrel or something.
I just noticed that also, and I was talking about the Alpha WCCU unit.
Roger, copy that. And Sally, it sounds like you're coming from a barrel when there's a slight squeal occasionally when you're talking on that one.
Yeah, I'm hearing static with you two guys. It may be that one of the WCCUs we're checking out now. And did that clear it? Guy, how do you read now?
Okay, Sally, you sound good now.
Okay, belay what I said. I guess the alpha unit isn't working yet. Aha, the alpha unit is working. That was the Charlie unit that's not working.
Copied. The Charlie unit's not working.
That's right. Don't let us confuse you too much. We're going through a WCCU checkout, and we'll give you the results later.
Roger, thank you. Challenger Houston, a reminder, and we'd like to adjust the water interchanger flow back to 950.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Challenger Houston, I got a note for you on the teleprinter we sent up on the SPA's activation tomorrow and the mom's data take. Roger, on the SPA's activation message we sent you, we talk about doing a mom's data take if time permits. That's step 3 in the teleprinter message. Just wanted to warn you that that activation time is scheduled for about 1700.
Okay, we'll make note of that.
Yeah, Guy, looking through that, we estimated it at maybe 40 minutes onto the timeline, and it may be hard to fit in a mom's data take.
Roger, understand. And that's the data take. Well, that will be at 1700.
Okay.
Challenger Houston, we're 40 seconds to LOS. We'll see you at Guam at 6 + 1 8. Challenger Houston with you at Guam for 2 minutes with a couple of notes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, on the water tank dump, in order to keep you guys from having to do one in the morning, we'd like to dump tank Bravo all the way down to 0% and dump tank Alpha to 50%.
Okay. Zero, El Bravo, 50 on Alpha.
That's affirmative. And Challenger Houston, I got another change to that message on SPOS activation tomorrow morning on the steps 2 and 3.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to do steps 2 and 3 from the ground. That's the heat bite, power on and off, and the mom's data take. We'll be asking you to do the SPOS activation, though, prior to 1700, if that'll fit in.
Okay, we'll try and get that done.
Thank you.
And you got anything else?
That's all I've got.
Get down to the line with it.
Stand by. Okay, we're ready to copy.
Okay, stars 20 and 51, angle error 0.02. Brian, you won. It was minus 0.10, plus 0.10, minus 0.06. For number 2, it was minus 0.02, minus 0.03, minus 0.08. And for number 3, it was minus 0.08, minus 0.15, plus 0.05. Torque time was 3 days, 6 hours, 11 minutes, and 15 seconds. Over.
Challenger Houston, we copy. Challenger Houston, we'll look on illusion about 20 seconds. We'll see you at Hawaii at 6 plus 2 9er.
Goodbye.
Challenger Houston, we'd like to get the star trackers to track, please.
When I get there.
Challenger Houston with you at Hawaii for 8 minutes, and you got a weather message coming.
And we can hear it as we sit here with our barbecue and macaroni and cheese.
All right, sounds good. We got a state vector coming up also for you.
Should that take us around to the Kennedy tomorrow? If we
Sure.
need it?
Sure will. Hopefully we won't need it for that. And Challenger, the state vector is on board. You're good to next PLS.
Okay. How's the weather looking for Friday?
Well, it's not good today or tomorrow, and we're still looking at it for Friday, hoping it'll clear out. We're not real sure yet.
Okay, maybe we can stay up till Saturday.
Or Sunday.
You guys aren't having fun up there, are you?
This is work. It's really, really hard. And it's only partly fun.
Oh, I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Afraid these guys are going to let out all my secrets. You hadn't seen what Tim does to us with a sizzle stick. Guy, you still there?
Yes, sir. We got 5 more minutes, and we're working to get our tag-up message together here.
You know, for your info, we did go back and try to walk through the WCCUs again. It looks like we got Unit Alpha working, or at least partially working. We did switch antennas on it, seemed to improve it maybe a little bit, but I'm still not sure it isn't going to go again. It's kind of a up and down kind of a thing.
and we got one of the E units that had caused us a problem going at this time. All we've done really is replace the batteries on them. Units Bravo and Charlie, the B unit does nothing. It does no light, nothing, no sound. And the C unit is, only thing it does is it puts out a buzz or a hum, and it doesn't do anything else. Okay, we copy that. And as part of the checkout, Guy, how do you read the PLT on System Alpha? Read you aloud, Rick, with slight buzziness in it, but understandable. Okay, thank you.
Oh, that fuzziness is just Rick.
Well, that's what I was afraid of. And Challenger Houston, I got a little bit of a tag-up message for you if you want to listen. Love to listen. Okay, on the accomplishments, the KU band test went fine today, and it's all ready for operational phase. And in the payload side, the mom's data takes were not completed, and we still have 20 minutes of data takes that we hope to complete tomorrow morning. The friction and mouse 1 appeared nominal. On the SPAs folks feel the SPAs anomalies seen in the DHS will not happen again once the SPAs cools off tonight. And we'd like the SPAs activation over to cars tomorrow morning so we can watch it, and we'll remind you that in the teleprinter message we send up. And we got good CFAs and MIA takes today. We're happy with that. Okay, on the anomalies, looks like a couple of anomalies with question marks because we're not sure about them, but the SPA's command problems we had, we'll hope to be fixed with the cool down today, and we'll check it out tomorrow. And it appears the tags has jammed on us, and we'll check that out post-flight. Okay. And a couple of notes here. The data that we've found on the EOGs all looks good. And the cap deltas for tomorrow are adding the SPA's checkout, and there'll be no water dump in the morning. And we've also got the gyro calibration change note up. Okay, sounds super. Other than that, we're really looking forward to tomorrow. Got about a minute here left at Hawaii. At Santiago at 6+57, they're having some problems down there due to weather. Looks like we'll not get data, but we might be able to talk to you on Air to Ground 1. Okay. And if we don't get you there, we've got Botswana at 7+19, but we hope to be able to let you guys get going towards getting to bed. Sounds good to me. I think unless you guys have really got something for us. I've got one more switch for you up on panel A7L, and that's to get the MAD strain gauge back to PCM enable for the night. Okay, we'll do that. We're about to lose you. We'd like to get the Z tracker to track, please. Okay, that's how we got that, but we'll double check it. Thank you. Challenger, Houston with you at Santiago for 4 minutes.
Well, hello.
Hello, you hear us?
We were sitting here looking over toward Chile. Floating here, I should say.
Roger.
You guys get any data?
Negative.
Well, that's our knowledge. We got everything done you wanted.
Say again, couldn't understand the last one.
I said, to the best of our knowledge, we got all the switches and items that you people desired.
Okay, super. Challenger, Econ would just like to verify that the bleed orifice is turned on.
Well, it's turned off right now. I'll go back and turn it on a little bit later. I did turn it off because we popped up with a high PTO2. The level kept rising there. We'll get it on here in a little while.
Okay, that was a good call on your part. Thanks a lot.
Guy, you might pass on to any astronomers you happen to run into that were passing very close to Cerro Tololo.
Roger that. I'll see if I can find any astronomers around. Or any attack astronomers, anyway.
Roger.
Challenger Houston, we're about 1 minute to LOS here. The Granite team will be watching over you for about the next hour in case you want to talk to us. Otherwise, we'll leave you alone. And we'll let the Indigo team watch over you for the sleep period.
Well, they've been doing a good job of it, and we appreciate all the good work you folks have done today, and see you tomorrow for a little talk stop.
Roger that. We're all looking forward to it.
Good morning, troops. How are we doing? We love it.
Good morning, guys. May not be the greatest show, but we're well orchestrated.
We couldn't agree more. How you all feeling this morning?
Super. You guys are ready for your little bomb stand here?
It should be going on right now, and the team is all refueled, and we're raring to go.
Thank you much for the Cougar song. I appreciate that this morning.
And John, that mom's data take should be running now, and it will run until about 17:07.
Okay, super, and we'll be watching it here. And we're showing Modus processor temp right now, 72.4, and it's come up about close to 10 degrees since we powered up, and we've been up for 49 minutes.
Okay, John, would you say again the temperature?
Okay, it's 72.4, and it's come up from 64 in 50 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much.
And we understand you're going to be playing with a heat pipe experiment this morning as well.
And we did turn the heat pipe on and back off again, and we'll be done with that now. And mom's looks like it's working pretty good to us.
Okay, we're not getting any indication at all in the cockpit. We see a power on, but we don't see anything that looks like a data take.
Okay, stand by. Let me double check that, John.
Okay. If you get it, TJ, give me the TN, please.
TN was 16 plus 46 for 21 minutes.
I understand for 21 minutes, we're not seeing any action.
Okay, John, and the latest words on that at 16 plus 59, the data will begin at that time.
Okay, 16. And do you have anything else for us, TJ?
Stand by one, please. And we're not reading any UHF downlink at this time, and when you get around to that, you might check your ATUs, except, of course, for the mid-deck.
Okay, and we do have it on, TJ.
Very good. We've got it now, and about a minute left here at Madrid, and we'll see you next to the Yargady at 17:26.
Okay, we'll be watching the data take on the moms, and best wishes to them.
Okay, correction on that. We're going in a keyhole, and we'll have you for about 2 minutes on the other side there, still with Madrid.
Roger that.
And we'll give you a call at Yargady at 17:25.
Okay, we'll see you there, and we're looking forward to it.
Hello, Challenger. Houston with you through Yagadi for 6 minutes.
Hello, TJ.
Good morning, Sally.
And TJ, the mom's people will be happy to know that it looks like they got a good data take. The tape was running for the full 20 minutes.
Very good, Sally. It looked good to us too, and as well as the heat pipe. And we suspect that that was all the problems with those yesterday were temperature related.
That's good. And TJ, just for information, we got a 35 millimeter shots to back up the mom's data take of the ground track over Africa, looking straight down. And we also cranked up the RMS elbow camera, and we're able to VTR the mom's shutters closing.
Ah, very good. You're so ingenious so early in the morning here. And Sally, if it's convenient, it would help us plot net temperature if you could give us a data point about this time on the processor temp.
Stand by. Yeah, TJ, that's 80 degrees, 80.
Thank you.
How do you read the CDR?
You're loud and clear, Crip.
Okay, fine, Danny. Thank you. We just did a little column loop maneuvering around here. Just want to make sure we're in contact.
Y'all sound very good this morning.
Well, so do you.
I went flying the night before I came to work. I'm feeling real good.
All right. How the F4 is doing?
Doing just fine. I take it you slept well last night knowing your National Guard was awake.
You got it. Well, TJ, we went flying before we went to sleep last night and before we got up, too. While we were asleep.
In fact, we're still flying.
Glad to hear it.
And TJ, it looks like we're passing over the coast of Australia here right now.
Yeah, that's affirmative. You're in the northwestern corner of Australia.
Hey, they got a nice clear day today. Very few clouds.
And TJ, I haven't had a chance to say hello to all the people that Dave Walker and I visited down at Yargadi and Laurel Valley. Probably a good time to do that. We really appreciated their hospitality during our trip.
And from the stories I heard, it was quite a trip.
I don't believe everything you hear.
Jumps and I had quite a trip there also. And TJ, yesterday about the time that we started having the UHF problems, we were trying to pass a word to our compatriot Captain Joe Kerwin, who sent us a telegram the day before we launched, and we'd like to thank him for his good wishes, and we look forward to seeing him not too distant future, either in the States or somewhere else.
Well said, Rick, and we're looking forward to seeing Joe back too. We'll call you in about 2 minutes at Auroral.
Okay, we'll see you there.
STS Aurora for 4 minutes.
Roger. And TJ, for your information, we would plan to go ahead at this point with the SPA's checkout and to make all advanced preparations that we can up to, but not including the release of the SPAs. The payload folks think that's the right thing to do. We'll proceed.
That sounds like a good plan to us, too, and we'll be watching you do that.
Okie doke, we'll be working it.
One minute left here at Aurora. We'll see you at Mila at 18:10, and your PET start time is a nominal 3 days, 18 hours, and 48 minutes.
3 days, 14 hours, and that was 40 or 48 minutes?
Okay, it's 18 hours and 48 minutes.
Okay, 18 hours and 48 minutes. Understand.
We'll see you at Mila. Challenger, Houston through Mila for 10 minutes.
Loud and clear through Mila. How do you hear us?
You're loud and clear, Rick.
Okay, and we've got the IMU alarm results, if you'd like to get those.
Okay, go ahead, Crip. We're ready to copy.
Okay, stars 20 and 51. We haven't worn them out yet. Angle error of 0.02. For IMU1, minus 0.02, plus 0.09er, minus 0.03. For IMU2, minus 0.02, minus 0.05, plus 0.12. For IMU3, minus 0.13, minus 0.15, plus 0.05. Torque time was 3 days, 17 hours, 53 minutes, 45 seconds. Over.
We copy all. Thank you.
And DBS can see that we're in dual G2 ops and Bay 2 fans back on. And Pop can see that we're interconnected for the first time in the flight.
Very good. We're reading you kind of weak, but...
in the process of finishing up the ASC thermals, and she'll give you the exact times on those. In addition, we just had another one of those curious lock breaks on the SPAs, and it reestablished itself just as advertised.
Okay, we copy, and we're reading you a little bit better now. You just kind of went through a keyhole there on us, I think.
And TJ, I can give you some times on the ASC thermal checks from last night and this morning if you're ready to copy.
You bet. Go ahead.
Okay, on Palapa, last night, 3 days, 6 hours, 49 minutes, 25 seconds. Also on Palapa this morning, 3 days, 18 hours. Yeah, okay, 3 days, 18 hours, 10 minutes, 45 seconds. On Annex last night, 3 days, 6 hours, 49 minutes even. And this morning, 3 days, 18 hours, 10 minutes, 3 seconds.
Very good. Thank you.
And TJ, something that you might pass along to the SPA's training people is that the darks work.
The darks work? Wonderful.
The darks work.
Challenger, Houston, Dakar is next at 25.
Okay, see you there, TJ. Hope we didn't get too many people up this early in the morning.
We're doing just fine, and we think that when we turned on the S-band FM system there at AOS, that may have caused the SPAs to drop lock momentarily. May happen again here when we turn it off at LOS.
Okay, we'll see.
And we're AOS through Dakar and Madrid for about 6 minutes.
Hello, TJ.
You're loud and clear.
Hey, you just did something with your S-band. We just got 7 messages on the spas.
Okay, we copy, John, and we'll verify it's the same cause.
Doesn't seem to do anything except give us a bunch of messages. I'm not sure we ever really drop lock. And TJ, for your information, sir, we have completed the SPA's checkout. The performance is nominal. We have 99% N2. And it appears that the procedure to check the N2 solenoids works sometimes and doesn't work others. It looks like it's about 1/10 of an amp, and that's within the deadband on the amps that we're reading.
Okay, we understand, John. Thank you.
Both solenoids are working in both the DCU and the DHS mode. We can confirm that by changes in propellant quantity.
Very good.
And TJ, just for confirmation, we believe you gave us a go to go ahead and make all preparations, including the grapple and release of the spas from the cargo bay, and to keep it on the arm pending the release time in the flight plan.
That's affirmative, John. We'll your go right up to that point.
Okay, thank you much.
And we're going to have a short keyhole and pick you up on the other side of Madrid. And we've got the prop numbers for this morning. Anytime you want to copy them, maybe iOS in about 14 minutes might be a good time.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll call you at Indy at about 4:04.
There. Okay, we'll plan on getting the prop info there.
Okay, real fine. AOS at Indy for 8 minutes.
You're loud and clear, and we're in the process of uncradling the arm right now.
Very good, Sally, and you're loud and clear.
TJ, we're standing by at the copy pad.
Okay, here we go with the prop numbers. Reading down the full phase 1 column from the top. 44, 59, 10.2, 10.3, 32, and 59. Coming down the mini V-bar column, 30, 57, 10.2, 10.3, 28, and 56. In the warning block, 2, 47, 12.3, and 12.4. Over.
Okay, TJ, coming back at you in the same order. 44, 59er, 10.2, 10.3, 32, 59er, 30, 57, 10.2, 10.3, 28, 56, 2.0, 47, 12.3, 12.4. And if you have the, what you consider the total ohms on board right now, I'd appreciate it.
We sure do. You're balanced perfectly. You have 38.2 on each ohms, 76.4.
76.4, sounds good. TJ at 03, 18, 44, 23. We got another multiple message on this pause.
Okay, John, and that appears to be for the same reason, and we're thinking that may go away when we're uncradled and up on the arm.
And not only that, I'm not sure it's a problem anyhow, TJ. It just appears to be a series of messages, and we haven't seen any firm indication of an actual loss of lock. It's just be a momentary.
That's what ENCO says. It's just a when we power up the upper Hemi, it causes a transient in the AGC there, and it causes a momentary break lock and recapture.
Okay.
TJ, we're trying to get the cameras zeroed at this time for the Fox Ops phase, and so we'd like to have control of them in the cockpit.
Okay, very good, John. And we'll call you at Yargity on the hour.
Roger that.
And we're going to leave the S-band FM system on so we don't bother you with nuisance alarms every time we power it up.
Okay, we appreciate that. If we can afford to power it, make it a little easier on us.
Yeah, it looks good. Challenger Houston through Yargady and Aurora for about 12 or 13 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear, TJ.
You're loud and clear, Rick.
Drift check.
We didn't copy that, Sally. What was that?
I say we just started the gyro drift check.
Okay, very good.
TJ, you might pass to the SPAS folks that we ran an impromptu gyro drift check while the orbiter was LVL8. Gyro's on, and with the refinite and the plus Y SPAS, and the numbers look real good. So we're not expecting any big problems with the gyros this morning. They look good.
Okay, John, it's nice to have that warm feeling. We'll call you in about 1 minute through Aurora.
Okay, TJ.
And we have good data from Aurora.
Okay, TJ. TJ, I've got some preliminary gyro drift numbers for you, and we are going to have to do another fine check.
Okay, yeah, we'll take the numbers. We got 1 minute and 20 seconds left.
Hey, the numbers that we had in at the start of this check were plus 9.5, minus 4.0, and plus 8.0. The numbers after this 10-minute check, we will have in 5.0, minus 5.5, and plus 15.5.
You got a little weak on us at the end there, John. Was that last one 15.5? Okay, we've got 30 seconds left here at Aurora. We'll see you next at Mila at a prox ops elapsed time of 5:07. See you there.
See you there.
In Challenger, Houston, we're talking to you through Mila now and request a command so we can establish some TV downlink.
Well,
Okay, TJ, we hear you.
what is it you would like established? We can give you your camera if you want it. We're using the cameras, all of them, that's my problem.
Yeah, if you just give us a command, we'll let you operate the cameras, and we'll just switch back and forth down here if that's okay.
Okay, as long as you don't move them.
We won't do that. And how you making out?
We got a problem here with Space Shuttle. We're getting a Space Shuttle message about every 15 seconds, and we'll give you a little status report on them. We're doing a third drift check just to see if how they're doing. And TJ, the numbers don't look too bad. We're getting these constant alerts, but the numbers were fairly stable from the course to the fine check. Sally can give you the numbers.
Yeah, hang on just a second, TJ, let me get my book.
Okay, we're ready when you are.
Meanwhile, John's over here maneuvering the arm to the grapple position, and we're still holding up on our attitude maneuver so we can get this drift check.
Okay, TJ, in the fine drift check, we calculated drifts in delta X of negative 0.15, delta Y of delta X of negative 1.5, delta Y of positive 1, and no drift in delta Z. We input those, and that gives us the final compensations that you can see in there, which are X 6.5, Y minus 6.5, and Z of 15.5. As Crip said, we're getting constant gyro drift fails. The amps aren't dropping at all, so we're not actually losing power to the gyros. We started getting those about halfway through the fine check, and seemed to get a pretty good check. And we're actually running another course check right now just to check up on them and see how they look.
Okay, fine, Sally. We'll be thinking about that with you.
TJ, and if we're going to be go for release, we're going to need to inhibit that Space Gyro alarm.
Okay, that's in work.
I think we've got the numbers on board to be able to do that. Main thing I need to understand is whether we're going to be go to release with the conditions we have. Okay, Houston, we just had a drop in data again, and it was out for about 3 or 4 seconds and came back.
Okay, we're looking into it.
That looked pretty much like when y'all were locking up on the FM a while ago.
We switched to the FM upper, and that got us there.
Okay.
switch to it. Did you power it up, or was it already powered up, TJ?
It was already powered up. We went through an attitude there that caused us to switch from lower to upper, and that got us.
Okay. Find some way to stabilize that situation, TJ.
Yeah, we're working on that, John, and we'll be trying to stay on the lower to avoid it.
Copy. Hey, TJ, Sally just ran another check on the gyros, and it appears that the numbers that we have are within a degree per hour, which is certainly good enough from our point of view if we've got confidence in the gyros themselves. But the numbers that we're getting are plenty good.
Okay, that's encouraging, and I think we're about to get a decision. Stand by, please. Challenger Houston, you're go to inhibit the gyro fail message, and you are go for unberth.
Outstanding. Does that mean we're go for departure on the R-bar?
We're watching the temperature closely, Crip. We'll have some more words for you on that to car in a few minutes, but you are go to unberth at least, and it's looking good for release. We'll see you at the car in about 5 minutes.
I understand, TJ. And we have the rig gyro message inhibited.
Okay, very good. And a request that you watch the attitudes closely, of course, on the SPA's attitude.
Roger that.
We'll call you at the car at 1 plus 12.
Okay, 1 plus 12.
And we're back with you for 7 minutes through the car.
Okay, TJ, and we just got the spas umbilicals retracted.
Very good. Challenger Houston, we'd like to talk about a couple of things that might improve the thermal situation with spas when you have a minute.
Go ahead.
Well, we're hoping that when we get it up and out of the bay there, that thermal condition might be a little bit better. So anything you can do to expedite that, of course, will be of help. And once we're out to 1,000 feet on the V-bar.
Break. The more you talk to us, the slower we get. That's what we were trying to do. We'll talk to you about it after we got it up there.
Real good.
Okay, TJ, the spas is coming out.
Roger.
Okay, TJ, we also got another spas tower and brief unlock with those same messages again. Did y'all push the FM antenna once more?
No, sir, we didn't. We think that that was the motion of the spas, and we'll be watching it. We'll call you at Indy at 1+31.
Okay, TJ, we'll talk to you then. And we've got the spas unburst.
Real good. We're AOS at Indy for 8 minutes.
Okay, we're standing by, ready for release on your call.
And Challenger, your go for release.
Standing.
And TJ, we just turned on the mass spec to warm it up. I assume that you wanted us to do that.
Affirmative, Sally. Thank you. And Sally, we saw a power cycle on the mass spec. Was there a problem with it?
Cycle the power, TJ, and I'll talk to you later after the release.
And the answer is there is no problem.
Yargety's next at 1+47.
Talk to you then. We're just about to release.
Roger, you might check camera over temp when you get a minute.
Roger. And thanks.
Challenger Houston through Yargady for 8 minutes.
Okay, TJ, we're with you, and John performed a beautiful release and recapture in auto.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And the mass spec has been initiated. It's in program 5, and we're showing F6 for the status.
Very good, Sally. Thank you. And we're working on a go for the R-bar separation, but we need the processor temp. If you could give that to us, that would help.
Okay, I'll get that for you right now.
It's 99.4.
We copy.
TJ, for the RMS folks, you can tell them that the tip-off rates are negligible, underlined negligible.
That's outstanding, John. Thank you.
And TJ, the Mouse 2 was activated at 3 days, 20 hours, 36 minutes.
We copy.
TJ, I miscued on the spec on the power cycle earlier on the mass spec. It's up now and the status is good, and we did visually watch it swivel through its plus E to plus X. Sorry, that's a plus E to minus X.
Okay, thank you, John.
Houston, Challenger, you guys still there?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I was just wondering where you at now. We're sitting here holding for whatever info you guys have got for us.
Okay, we have a short LOS here. We'll call you at Auroral in about 1.5 minutes.
TJ, see you there.
We're AOS Auroral for 2 minutes.
Okay, loud and clear.
You're loud and clear, and we're still watching that temp, but you can anticipate a go for the R-bar SEP at AOS Buckhorn, and that'll be about 4 minutes prior to the nominal SEP initiate time.
Okay, sounds good, TJ. We'd sure like to do it.
And TJ, it looks just like the SPA's color TV camera's working.
Ah, very good. We'll be looking forward to seeing that through Goldstone then.
And TJ, also, we think that camera over temp was probably caused by the fact that we had the SPA's camera on at the time.
Okay, Sally, thanks. Yeah, we see it again. And our favorite partner from West Virginia is going to give you a call at Buckhorn at about 2+26.
Rod. TJ?
Go ahead. And Challenger Houston's back with you over the mainland for about 12 minutes.
Okay, John, loud and clear. We have detached, and we're waiting for about 10 minutes to start the R-bar step. We're on page 2-15, level 14, and we're stable.
We copy that, and we're looking at our data, and we'll be right back to you. And Challenger, you got to go for the R-bar separation.
Okay, that's super, John. We'll hold off here for a little while.
Yeah, I meant on time. You got to go whenever you want to, whenever you're supposed to.
Okay, and during this phase, we'll try to minimize air to ground.
So will we.
And you guys are going to be set up for some TV, is that right?
That's affirmative at Mila.
Okay.